remember to check to make sure the mic is on. How's everybody doing? Everybody make it last week? Survive? Kind of, sort of? Hopefully. Did it suck?
The first day was pretty, then it was downhill from there.
It was fine at first, right? You're like, this is awesome?
It was fine when it was snow.
Yeah. Was anybody in the big snowball fight? There's a big snowball fight in the quad.
Not confirm nor deny.
Outstanding. Okay, so have your strengths. Pull up your strengths. If on your phone, whatever, or at least if you have it printed out, whatever, that's cool. We're going to go over that today, okay? Did you learn something about yourself?
There's a large consensus among all these personality tests.
There's a what?
Now, there's sort of like a consensus. When you take it out personality test, you start to see the same things over and over again. So it's a good sort of confirmation thing.
Okay, yeah, so it kind of confirms some other one. Did you do like Myers-Briggs last year?
Oh yeah, we did Myers-Briggs for Air Force, for SOMS 2 years in a
Yeah,
row.
yeah.
Okay. Something else.
So you saw a little bit of consistency there? Okay, cool. What else? Somebody else said something.
It kind of, some of these things kind of affirm what I already know about myself.
Okay, so similar. So, it told you some good things, like things you think you already kind of know or you do or whatever. Okay, cool. What else? Who else? Did you learn anything? Haley? What'd you learn?
That I'm not like that afraid of change.
Okay, good. Was that kind of shocking for you, or?
I guess not shocking. I just never really realized it.
Okay. What was the theme? What was the strength?
Adaptability.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. All right. Good. Were any of you surprised by anything? Sounds like that one was a little bit.
Yeah.
Ryan?
I just never thought about one of mine being input. I always see like positivity and just being a good people person. And I saw that with like woo and positivity and harmony.
Do you have woo?
Yes.
Does anybody else have woo? Oh, good. We're going to use that today. Thank God. I was worried about that. This is going to be fun and interesting. Okay. We'll get into a little more about what woo is. All right. Anybody else? Sprite? Yeah?
It wasn't really surprising, but a bunch of my family members had taken it before. And I had like the same top strength as my brother, and then a bunch of other strengths in common with the rest of my family.
Okay, cool. So some themes throughout the family that were similar. That's probably not terribly surprising, although, I mean, there's twins that'll take it and have totally different ones. But yeah, you and your brother grew up in the same environment, right? So probably some similarities there. Okay, cool. All right. Do you guys feel like these accurately reflect your strengths? Think these kind of got you nailed pretty good? How many of you, did you notice when you were taking it, a lot of the questions sound the same? Yeah, well, and why are they doing that?
Trying
Make sure
to
you're sure
affirm
of yourself.
Confirm, yeah, what?
To make sure like you're sure this is exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, they do that on purpose, right? To see if you're consistent. Because even though a lot of them are similar, some of them are just a little different, right? So they're seeing how you fit into the different ones. Because there's 34 themes. There's 34 different ones. And it's not to say you don't have some of the others. These are just the ones that are most prevalent. Okay? So we'll get into that. Okay? You feel good about the results?
I'd say so.
So,
Yeah. How many of you looked at that and started like, yeah, I'm pretty awesome. Right? Feel pretty cool. Like some of it was kind of nice to see, right? Did anybody have positivity? You did? Yeah. See, oh, it's similar. All right, cool. So you saw that and you're like, yeah, yes, I am. Yes, very positive. Right? Okay. How about empathy? Does anybody have empathy? Nice. Good. We're going to use that. Okay, good. Yeah. But, somewhat more common in women, but not always. Okay. Some women absolutely don't have it, which is always interesting too. Okay. Cool. All right. Is everything in that explanation a compliment?
Not exactly.
Not necessarily, right?
It can sting a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. What hurts you?
I can imagine some would, but I like my results. But I
Okay.
feel like it's too like pleasing. Like
Sure.
kind of like when you break open a fortune cookie. That's my problem with some of these personality tests is that whenever you take it, they'll just throw back, you're good at this, and not tell you anything else.
Okay. What's the major flaw with these tests? Myers-Briggs, Strengths Quest. We're actually going to do another one we'll talk about this week. What's the major flaw with these?
It's just a test at a single point in time that doesn't have like any face-to-face interview or.
No, I mean, can be, yeah. But even if you take it, like, I took mine years ago, and I'd probably test the same today. You usually will. You might change a little over time, but not very much. What do you got?
Because you're the one giving the answers.
No, that's not a flaw. That's a good thing. But what's the major flaw? What's it telling you?
What you already know. Or
What you're good at, right?
Yeah.
What is it not telling you?
What you're
Where you
bad
can
at.
improve.
What you suck at?
Which is why for only $39.99 you can access the rest
No,
of the strengths.
you get SOMS 380 right there included. Okay, we're gonna break you down in the fall. Okay, right now we're gonna tell you what you're good at all semester, and next semester, bam, you suck. Okay, so enjoy this semester. All right, we're gonna work on it. Okay, preview SOMS 380. All right, so that's a good thing to know, actually. Okay, I think, because we're gonna tell you what you're good at. It's gonna be awesome. Go build on those things, and then next semester we'll be like, oh, we got some stuff to do. And because most of you don't like what you're not good at, right? You don't like acknowledging it. You don't like dealing with it, right? So that's what we do in 380, which is really fun. Okay, cool. All right. So your strengths, or they call them your themes, they're different than talents. Okay, talents are your natural way of thinking or feeling or acting, right? Your talents are neutral. How you choose to apply these determines your strengths and strength and weaknesses. Okay, so just because this told you, hey, here's the 5 things that I'm pretty good at, tells me a little bit about me, that's great. But if you don't actually apply them, then you're just kind of neutral, right? You have some natural talents already. If we don't build on these, right, and your positivity, eventually it'll wear down a little bit, okay? Or your woo, right? Or your empathy, or whatever you have, okay? So you got to work on them a little bit. All right, of the little that you know, here's mine. And I mean, of the little that you know about me, you tell me if this is accurate or not. Go back to that. Activator, achiever, arranger, positivity, and belief. All right, and if you don't have any of those, activators. When can we start? All right, so like, let's go do it. I like action. Okay. Achiever helps explain drive. Describes someone's constant need for achievement. Every day starts at 0, and you want to accomplish something. Arranger, you're a conductor. Faced with a complex situation involving many factors, you enjoy managing all the variables, aligning, realigning until you get most productive configuration. Positivity, generous with praise, quick to smile, always on the lookout for the positive in a situation. Belief, certain core values are endearing. These vary from one person to another, but ordinarily, your belief theme causes you to be family-oriented, altruistic, even spiritual, and value the responsibility and high ethics, both in yourself and others. What do we think? Is that me?
Yeah.
No, I'm mean. I hate things.
Wow.
Yeah, all right, okay. That's probably me, all right? It's pretty accurate, I think. I was surprised I didn't have woo, to be honest. Woo is super rare. You know what it stands for?
You want to woo someone.
Well, yeah, but it's actually an acronym because it makes a word. Winning others over. Like these 2 dudes, if you don't like them, that's going to bother them.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are literally going to, if Nate doesn't like you, you guys are literally going to try and win Nate over. Right? And be like, dude, why don't you like me? I'm awesome. Okay? It will bother these guys. Some of you guys could care less, right? Somebody doesn't like me, screw them. I don't care, right? Anybody feel that way? Good for you, okay? You don't care, right? These guys are the exact opposite of you. It bothers them, all right? And woo is pretty rare. And you don't have, here's the interesting thing to me about woo, you do not have to be an extrovert, right? A lot of people think that you're an extrovert. I have a friend of mine who has woo. He's great with it, with his job and everything. It fits his line of work, but he is very much an introvert, all right? And very much a homebody when it can be, right? So, okay. You got these 5 new strengths. They're telling you how awesome you are. You should probably add them to your email signature. Why? Why would you do that?
It lets people know what you're good at.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you guys trying to do ultimately here? What are you trying to do in a couple years?
Get a job, sustain a career.
Get a job and get the hell out, right? Okay, go make millions. Give it back to the court. Dr. Payne endowment. He agreed. Okay, he agreed. All right. Just remember me when you get there. If you're applying for internships or jobs, right, and they see that, a lot of them are going to know what it is because a lot of companies have done this. All right. What if they have no idea? You two stop. God. See, I can already see it coming out of them. Okay. Yeah. What'd you say?
So then you can explain it to them?
Yeah. What if somebody sees positivity, belief, woo, and they're like, dude, Ryan, what is this on your email signature?
Well, you see, I learned it in my extensive leadership education from the
Bingo, right? That's good, right?
Foot in the door, Dr. Payne.
Yeah, okay. So you can actually use these things to help sell yourself. Okay? Again, you don't have to have woo like these two knuckleheads, right? But you can use these to say, hey, here's some things that I'm pretty good at and that hopefully translate into the job you're pursuing. Okay? You can make all of them fit. We'll get into that. If some of you think you didn't, like some of you engineers get real bothered if they don't have like a lot of the analytical ones, it's okay. It's 100% okay, right? Most of this is new to you guys. Okay, so let me see. Who does not have empathy? Yeah, question?
Oh, I mean, I do have it. I just had another question.
Yeah.
So these, I'll say like we're better at these 5 things than we are at the other 34. Or
If you prioritize them, these are going to be the ones
but
toward.
it doesn't say how good we are at them objectively compared
Correct.
to other people, compared to
Correct.
some bar.
Yeah, this is telling you out of these 34 themes, those are the 5 that are most predominant for you. So again, you probably have some variation of all of them, but if you rate them, these are going to come out at the top, whereas the others are going to fade down to the bottom.
So how can we like assess how good we are objectively at these, or
We're going to do that right
wrap
now.
our head around that?
We're going to do that right now.
Okay.
A little bit, and we'll do it the rest of the semester. That's why I have you guys do this. All right, so empathy, right? Haley, okay, you're my first volunteer. Who does not have empathy? Who's not good at empathy? Yeah, I think I want one of you two. Roberta. Ready? Okay, you two come with me. Y'all stay here. We'll be right back.
Dean, what were your strengths?
Context, woo, positivity, developer, communication.
Alright, I like communication too. Hi Timmy, I miss you. You too, Madeline. And everyone else out.
Psych, you're actually getting C-PERD right now.
Okay. Berto has something to say.
So it turns out you have cancer. Really sorry, but it's gonna be a rough road ahead, and hopefully we can get through this together.
Okay, Haley?
I'm very sorry, but I just let you know that you have cancer. It doesn't look too good, so going forward it's going to be very difficult. But we're here to help you in any way that we can. Do you have any questions?
How did I get cancer?
Any questions? That's a good one. Okay, cool. Sit down. Have a seat. Okay. Killing me, Haley. Killing me. Okay. All right. Did we notice any differences?
The big line that stuck out is let me know if you need any help.
Yeah. Okay. So Haley was a little bit more there at the end. Roberto actually did a pretty good job for somebody who doesn't have empathy. All right. That's pretty good. All right. Usually, how this works is those without empathy, kind of like what you did, is you're like, you've got cancer. Sorry, bro. Which is kind of what you did. Like you told him, and you were pretty nice, and then you were just like, all right, you good? I gotta go. You have a terrible, horrible disease. I gotta go. Okay. Haley, a little more compassionate, right? But not a lot different there. Okay. So empathy is probably somewhere higher than you think. Okay, in your strengths. All right. So that was pretty entertaining for me. Usually, the empathy ones, it's like, hey, like I had a dude who sat down and talked to somebody for like 3 minutes in the class. Right. He's like, we're gonna get you through this. We're gonna help you. I'm gonna get in touch with your family. It was great. Stupid thing keeps going to sleep. so now I need my. I'm gonna take Ryan, who does not who does not like people, who's like my quiet introvert, not real comfortable in a party, getting to know strangers. Awesome. Okay, that explains a little bit. Okay, anyone else? I already picked on you. All right, come with me then. Okay. Yeah, that was good. Come here.
Martine, I don't believe it.
Yeah, that's some bull crap right there.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I put. Okay, so
Okay, remind me of your name again.
Haley.
Haley. Wait. Oh, Haley. Okay. Sorry, I couldn't hear it. Okay. My name's Alex. If you didn't know that, would you want to go to the rec later today?
Sure.
Okay, awesome. What time?
3.
Awesome.
all right, cool. All right, Ryan, you're up.
All right. Big man, what sport do you play? Basketball? You want to shoot some hoops at the rec here? I see you got a block tee on your chest.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh wait, how tall are you?
6'7".
We'll go. No. 6'7"? Holy shoot! How have I never seen you walk in? All right. I'll see you later. I probably shouldn't shake hands, but.
That's all right. There's hand sanitizer over there if you guys need it. All right. Good job. Okay, what'd you notice?
One was a lot more awkward than the other.
What's that?
One was a bit more awkward than the other.
Alex was a little more Alex, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little more awkward. Yeah, pretty good effort though, right? A little direct. Were you like, dude? Are you like that was like came at you, right? Okay. Is that gonna be a little random if some dude just comes up to you? It's like, you want to go to the rec?
Yeah.
Probably. Okay. All right. What do we notice about Ryan? Energy, right? Yeah. Like immediately, kind of like tearing down the wall. Okay. Nate's like, dude, what's going on? But immediately trying to get to know him. Okay. He's literally trying to win Nate over. Okay. I bet you get real tired of being asked how tall you are, huh? Yeah. You know what you should do? Just ask people how much they weigh. All right? Don't always do that. Or you can ask them how old they are. I used to work with a guy who's 7 feet tall. He's so tired of that question. Yeah. So I can relate. All right? Not to being tall, just to how much that sucks. Okay. Anybody have a ranger in your top 5? Chloe? Okay. Awesome. Who does not have a ranger? All right. Good. You two come with me. No, yep.
Sayonara, buddy.
Okay.
What's your name?
Nate.
Nate?
Yeah.
You know Ethan Elliott?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, what have y'all done this season for basketball?
We had tryouts, but then this semester there's no games, so they just told us to play pickup basketball and then we can't play each other.
I don't know if that's fantastic or depressing.
Kind of both. Don't have to do practice the weekend.
So we're in this group project. We got like stuff to do. There's like 4 people. It's gotta be done quick. We need to assign roles and stuff. You ready?
Sure.
Good.
Okay, cool. Have a seat. All right, Chloe.
So we have a group project and the deadline is next week. So what we can do is split up the work evenly amongst each other, and you can create a group me so we can work together and ask any questions you have.
Cool. Okay, well done. All right, difference between the two? What'd you notice? Huh?
There was more of a plan of action.
Way more detail, right? Even it's just the little that I gave them, a lot more detail, right? Split up the work evenly.
Deadline,
Make a group
me.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Exactly, right.
Command action.
Yeah, Lane, right?
Yes.
Okay. Lane was just like, hey, we got a thing. We'll just figure it out, right? Who do you want running the project?
I'll take lead.
If we're being honest, probably not that Lane can't get it done, okay? But if we need someone to run a multifaceted project, okay, do I want an arranger?
Probably.
Probably. Why would those things matter? Why would we want to know these things? How does this fit into your lives now and the real world?
Be able to use our strengths to better an organization.
Yeah. Okay? Absolutely. All right? If you're not the ideas person and you're the executor and you have to come up with something new, do you want to work with an ideas person?
Yeah.
100%. Okay? Or vice versa, right? This actually plays out all the time. Like entrepreneurs, okay? They're usually really good at coming up with things. What they're not great at is being managers. They're not always great CEOs. In fact, they often get bored with their company that they've built and made millions with, right? If they made a good one, made it work. They're like, okay, next thing. Right? And some of you are like, what? Just let me run the company. It'll be awesome. We actually need each other. Believe it or not. Okay? You need the different people. All right? We need non-regs. No.
Harris.
Okay? You need those people. All right? Who likes going to movies? Okay? Who has no interest in ever acting or getting on a stage? Right? Okay? You need those people. We're all different. That's a good thing. But it's good to know what you're good at. All right? Okay. Now, we've got a little room in the class, so we're going to work with it. And again, there's not that many of you, so this is good. Okay? We're going to get the blood flowing a little bit. Please, you don't have to touch or anything. Don't get too close. All right. Here's the scenario. You're invited to a party with people you don't know. Who's excited? Okay, excited people, head over here to this kind of open area. My unexcited people, you can kind of be in this open area. Okay, if you're in between, pick one. You gotta pick one. Excited for the party with people you don't know, unexcited. You guys stand up. You have to talk to each other, okay? Now, what I want you guys to do for a couple minutes is talk about your 5 themes. All right, and see if there's any commonalities or differences. That's fine too. But you guys have to talk about your 5 themes. Go ahead.
Command, context, strategic, leader,
Did any of you have like any of them that like specifically like social ones? Because I don't think I had any social ones. I don't think. Yeah, I don't have anything that's like a social.
And look at those biceps. Man.
Okay, of you guys, how many of you would be at the party sitting on the couch looking at your phone? Like trying not to talk to anybody? No, you're good? Still gonna try and meet people? Okay. Okay, cool. All right. You finding commonalities at all in your themes?
Similar personalities.
Okay, cool. All right. Sausage fest over here. Okay. Similar themes?
Me and Dean are 3 for 3. There's some with
We're kind of
strategic.
similar. Activator was pretty
We
common.
got strategic over here.
Okay. You guys, I know you guys have woo, but like, would you guys be around meeting new people? Like interacting with people you didn't know, trying to
I think so. I will caveat that if I'm like the stranger and it's a group of people that they like already know, I just kind of watch them aside and like, throw in my 2 cents.
Fair enough. But like, if any of you were at a party with people you don't know, would any of you be sitting on the couch looking at your phone? Okay, cool. All right, cool. Okay, next scenario. All right. Okay, you're asked to participate in a competition, right? Could be athletic, academic, whatever, right? But it is a competition, all right? Who is ready to like start right now? Ready to go? Okay, you guys are over here. Who of you are like, do we have to do this? Okay, over here. Over by Haley. So if you're ready to start the competition right now, over on this side, if you're like, I really don't want to be forced to do anything over here. Okay. Okay, cool. All right. Last one. You have to find your way to a place you've never been before. Who's like, no problem, I'll figure it out? Okay, good. Who's like, no way, I have no interest? Nah, you're back over there. Okay, cool. You guys can have a seat. All right, so just because maybe you're not comfortable, it's not to say that Haley and Chloe aren't good at the competition. Okay, they're maybe just not ready to go without planning for it, right? Okay, so it just depends on how you guys do it. Some of you are like, yeah, let's go, ready to do it, and you charge right in, and then you suck, right? You're not good at it, but you gave it your all, right? And that's great. Look, in the military, right, you have enlisted, and although a lot more enlisted have education now, a lot of enlisted didn't go to college, right? Don't have a formal education past high school, okay? But I tell you what, I will take that motivated individual any day of the week, right? If I need someone, over someone who's got a ton of education but isn't as motivated, all right? So it doesn't matter. You're going to get out in the workforce and you're going to work with people who didn't go to A&M, shocking as that may be, right? Or didn't go to school at all right? It doesn't mean they're not awesome at their job, okay? You can learn from those people. You can build on those strengths and all those good things, okay? Because some of them absolutely work their tail off, and you're going to want that hard work, right? You want that work ethic, okay? Not to say that just because you went to school doesn't mean you have poor work ethic, all right? We're all a little different with our strengths, okay? How you kind of answered these, okay? It's not that you don't have those strengths. It's how comfortable you are using them, right? So you may have those strengths, you just haven't used them a lot, or you haven't built them up as much. So just because we told you you're good at some things doesn't mean you're just awesome right out of the gate at everything. I hate to break it to you, okay? You got to work on them a little bit, okay? You have to build them up, right? Okay, questions? Okay, here's kind of how they fit into according to CliftonStrengths, and this is well researched. They didn't just make these up. Okay, this is actually years and years and years of work. All right, but here's the categories that they fit into. So you've got all your 5 different themes, right? Okay, and they may be spread around all of this. You're probably not just all one thing, and that's okay. That's why it's some of the engineers get worried that they're not strategic thinking, right? That's okay. If you're majoring in engineering, but you've got a lot of strengths in relationship building, that's awesome, okay? Because all you nerds can't communicate with people. Just kidding, okay? Love my engineers, right? You just don't take yourself as pigeonholes, good or bad, right? Just because you guys are great with people doesn't mean you're poor students. Might be. Yes, sir.
Pigeonhole.
Pigeonholed, like you're stuck in that category.
Okay.
Like I'm only in here and I can't get out. All right. Again, that's as we get through this semester and we work on what you're good at. Next semester we'll work on what you're not, and we'll try to help you with those things. Okay. So not everybody's just one thing all the time. All right. So that's kind of how they break out into the different categories. And if you think you want to work on these, if you're like, you know what, I'm really good with people, I'm not great at executing, well then take notice. Go look at the definition of what those are. See if you can build on them a little bit, okay? Or vice versa, right? If you're really good at influencing people, but you're not so great with strategic thinking, and you want to work on that, then work on it, right? You could get there. Nobody's just stuck, all right? But these are kind of the way that you naturally are right now, okay? That's what it's telling you. Questions? Interesting? Okay, hope so. Did you guys actually read what it tells you, not just the 5 words? Yeah. Okay, good. Because a lot of times people are like, oh, here's my things. I'm like, well, what's it mean? I don't know. It's just an assignment. Okay? The point of SOMS is to figure you out a little bit. Okay. Shift gears a little bit. Here we go.
When I was 27 years old, I left a very demanding job in management consulting for a job that was even more demanding, teaching. I went to teach 7th graders math in the New York City public schools. And like any teacher, I made quizzes and tests, I gave out homework assignments. When the work came back, I calculated grades. What struck me was that IQ was not the only difference between my best and my worst students. Some of my strongest performers did not have stratospheric IQ scores. Some of my smartest kids weren't doing so well. And that got me thinking, kinds of things you need to learn in 7th grade math, sure, they're hard. Ratios, decimals, the area of a parallelogram. But these concepts are not impossible. And I was firmly convinced that every one of my students could learn material if they worked hard and long enough. After several more years of teaching, I came to the conclusion that what we need in education is a much better understanding of students and learning from a motivational perspective, from a psychological perspective. In education, the one thing we know how to measure best is IQ. But what if doing well in school and in life depends on much more than your ability to learn quickly and easily? So I left the classroom and I went to graduate school to become a psychologist. I started studying kids and adults in all kinds of super challenging settings. And in every study, my question was, who is successful here and why? My research team and I went to West Point Military Academy. We tried to predict which cadets would stay in military training and which would drop out. We went to the National Spelling Bee and tried to predict which children would advance farthest in competition. We studied rookie teachers working in really tough neighborhoods, asking which teachers are still going to be here in teaching by the end of the school year. And of those, who will be the most effective at improving learning outcomes for their students? We partnered with private companies asking which of these salespeople is going to keep their jobs and who's going to earn the most money. In all those very different contexts, one characteristic emerged as a significant predictor of success. And it wasn't social intelligence, it wasn't good looks, physical health, and it wasn't IQ. It was grit. Grit is passion and perseverance for very long-term goals. Grit is having stamina. Grit is sticking with your future, day in, day out, not just for the week, not just for the month, but for years, and working really hard to make that future a reality. Grit is living life like it's a marathon, not a sprint. A few years ago, I started studying grit in the Chicago public schools. I asked thousands of high school juniors to take grit questionnaires, and then waited around more than a year to see who would graduate. Turns out that grittier kids were significantly more likely to graduate, even when I matched them on every characteristic I could measure. Things like family income, standardized achievement test scores, even how safe kids felt when they were at school. So it's not just at West Point or the National Spelling Bee that grit matters, it's also in school, especially for kids at risk for dropping out. To me, the most shocking thing about grit is how little we know, how little science knows about building it. Every day, parents and teachers ask me, how do I build grit in kids? What do I do to teach kids a solid work ethic? How do I keep them motivated for the long run? The honest answer is, I don't know. What I do know is that talent doesn't make you gritty. Our data show very clearly that there are many talented individuals who simply do idea developed at Stanford University by Carol Dweck, and it is the belief that the ability to learn is not fixed, that it can change with your effort. Dr. Dweck has shown that when kids read and learn about the brain and how it changes and grows in response to challenge, they're much more likely to persevere when they fail, because they don't believe that failure is a permanent condition. So growth mindset is a great idea for building grit, but we need more. And that's where I'm going to end my remarks, because that's where we are. That's the work that stands before us. We need to take our best ideas, our strongest intuitions, and we need to test them. We need to measure whether we've been successful, and we have to be willing to fail, to be wrong, to start over again with lessons learned. In other words, we need to be gritty about getting our kids grittier. Thank you.
All right, what do you think?
Checks out.
Yeah, I hope so. Okay. The reason I showed you this is you are going to take the grit test for the discussion post this week. It's 10 questions. That's it. It's very short. In fact, most students are like, "Oh, this is dumb." Okay, it's rooted again in years of science and research, so take it seriously. Okay, so you're supposed to. I want you to post your top 5 that you already did, your top 5 strengths, and then you're going to take the grit test and tell me whether you think it's accurate or not. Right. One thing I can tell you, right? So she mentions West Point. They make the cadets take the grit test before they are admitted. They do this, and West Point still uses it and takes it very seriously because they don't want you to drop out, right? They don't want to lose cadets. They're trying to figure it out. Does anybody want a contract? Thinking about it? Okay, what branch?
Air Force.
Okay, cool, all right. So Marine Corps, for the OCS for the Marine Corps is incredibly challenging. The dropout rate is massive. I think it's around 50%, right? They're trying to figure out if you can make it through it or not. And this is a predictor that a lot of organizations use, all right? I am not Dr. Payne because I'm super smart, right? And if I haven't told you this before, this is 100% true. I have friends of mine that are way smarter than me, all right? I'm Dr. Payne because I am super stubborn, right? And as positivity fits in and belief, I have to believe in what I do for a living, all right? And I wanted to be a professor so badly, and I never thought I would have a PhD. When I was younger, I never thought I would get to this level, right? When I finished undergrad, I was done with school, moving on, all that good stuff. And then as I got older, I was like, well, I'm working for universities, I should get a master's, it'll help me out. And I loved being back in school. Doesn't mean I was awesome at it, right? I just worked really hard. Any accountants, Mays people in here? Anybody in Mays? Which major?
Finance.
Finance, okay. I had never taken an accounting class until my master's. I am a terrible accountant. But now I know what an accountant should be doing, okay? Same thing with statistics, PhD. I've never had a stats class before. I had to take 2 of them at PhD level, okay? I am still not a good statistician, but I understand it a lot better, okay? Simply because I knew I wanted to get where I was going. That's all that got me there, right? That's what got me here, and I love what I do. And I love being able to teach you guys. I take it very seriously, strictly because of passion and perseverance, right? She actually wrote a book. It's really good. It's really short. If you're interested, it's called Grit. Her name is Angela Duckworth. I will post this video because we got some people out if you want to watch it again or whatever. It's a really good book, relatively short read. There are some great examples in there. One of the things she actually talked about was she got all excited when TED Talks called her. She's like, oh, awesome. And then you have to actually do like a mock presentation. And they do, they do it over YouTube or FaceTime or Skype or whatever. And they're like, okay, practice your thing and you get this much time. And she writes, and she's like, so I got done and sat back and waited for my praise, like of how awesome I was. And they were like, wow, this really needs a lot of work. They were like, you got to edit a lot of stuff and you're not very good at this. She was like, what? Like, this is my thing. This is my subject, right? So it was just fascinating to hear that, right? Things that she does with her kids, and we'll get into more of that stuff next week. But it's pretty fascinating. Don't feel bad If you don't think it matches, just tell me why in the discussion post, okay? And we'll talk about it more next week. Sound good? Cool. All right. We only have a small class, so we are done early. Go be awesome. Have a great week. Don't fall behind in school. If you got behind, or we kind of last spring, if you kind of checked out and we came back in the fall and it was hard to get back in the swing of things, please stay engaged in your classes, okay? Since we had a nice break. Go be awesome. Have a great week.